Okay, so today we're going to build a Raspberry Pi high-quality DVR. We'll be using a Raspberry Pi 4 Model B computer with 4 gigabytes of RAM. When it comes to video processing, more RAM is more better. If you can get the 8 gig model, use that one. They're all pretty hard to get at the moment, but hopefully that'll change relatively soon. Here we have the Raspberry Pi high-quality camera module, which records video at exactly the same resolution as all the other cameras that they make, but high quality. I designed the 3D printed parts to snap together because I couldn't find a design for an HQ camera case that didn't require nuts and bolts, so I made one. This camera requires a lens, and we're using the 16mm telephoto lens with the C-mount that just screws right on there. The camera module just snaps right into the front bracket, and the back of the PCB should be flush with the plastic. Everything's designed to be a nice, tight, snug fit. Once the bracket is snugly holding the camera module, we can attach it to the body of the camera itself. It's designed to be a really tight fit, given my specific 3D printer and the filament I'm using and the phase of the moon and all that jazz. Your mileage may vary. I've included a link to the OpenSCAD file below if you do want to play around with it, print it out for yourself. There's a parameter in there. You can tweak the tolerances, make it a little tighter, make it a little looser, whatever you need. Now it's time to put the Pi in the case. It's a little bit trickier than it might seem, so we're going to line up the lid in advance, get the cable for the camera threaded through there, everything situated nice and neat, put the Pi in front, and then we will attach the camera. You'll want to go ahead and loosen up the camera connector on the Raspberry Pi so that the cable will be able to slide right in there. You want to face the cable so that the silver side faces the power jack. Slide it in so that it's flush, hold it in place, and secure the connector around it by pressing down. This next part's just like tying a tie. It goes around and over and down and through, and then you finagle with the fussy bit and then in through the slot and press it all down nice and tidy, and yeah, good enough. At this point, if everything is solid and secure, you're done. You can be done. So let's get the lens on there. For this video, I've opted for the 16mm telephoto lens. It's a beast of a unit. At 134 grams, it's considerably heavier than the whole rest of the DVR put together. Where the HQ camera really shines, of course, is its ability to take truly amazing still shots, and the ability to have a focusable, interchangeable lens that you can use on the Raspberry Pi platform is a really innovative and cool step forward. However, since we're building a DVR, we're focused primarily on the ability to record video, and if that is your primary criterion, there's not a really compelling case to be made for the HQ camera, other than it looks freaking cool. Okay, I said you could be done with the assembly of this unit, and if everything is still intact and nice and tight, maybe you are. But to make things stay together a little bit more solidly, a little more permanently, if you will, we can thread a little bit of the filament used to print this thing through the holes in each of the 4 corners. Again, your mileage will vary, but for me, this adds sufficient stiffness to the unit that it will withstand the abuses that I perpetrate upon it. If you have a more active work environment or you plan on moving it around a lot, you may want to use a little bit of super glue or maybe a soldering iron to melt the ends of the filament and hold them in place. If you're careful and don't melt the case itself, you can even clip those ends off later and disassemble it again, so it's not truly permanent. By the way, this camera right here that I'm using to record the side angle shots is actually a HQ camera itself, while this camera is the camera module 3 with autofocus. Both are really quite good, and I have no complaints. The autofocus on the camera module 3 is a clear winner in the DVR category, though. So stick around after the break, and I will show you how to install the DVR software and set up your very own always-on digital recording studio.